Hey, it's Bell. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try to answer the question of what is snowskate longboarding. So to answer this question, first we'll look at snowboard culture, the three disciplines that we have today. Then we'll break down snow skating history. And finally I'll give you a little personal history, how I ended up riding for Donek Snowboards. And hopefully by the end of this video you can understand like my design philosophy. But yeah, let's get into it.
That's under that hill, man.
It's a Donic. It's
dude, you're fucking cruising so well. That must be so fun. That
Thanks.
must feel pretty good.
Oh, it feels
Surfing
amazing. All right, first run of the day. We just got a chairlift ride with Trailer Tom, which has like been a dream of mine. Trailer Tom is a local legend. He's always out here for first chairs.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. I don't think we've ever like officially met.
Good to meet you. What's your name?
Harrison.
Harrison, we're on the live chat.
Oh, yeah?
Love the setup. Just saw your Instagram video of rocking that thing, carving it all over the place up on the hill. But yeah, check out this setup.
It's a snow skate that is basically like an alpine race board underneath a longboard. And then my front truck has a little slider so that when it flexes up into a turn, it can actually flex.
Very cool.
Roman candle? That one got really icy. And toe side stand up. Can I get one 360 before the end of the day?
Snowskate longboarding. How did we get here? So riding disciplines are born out of three things. It's the equipment, the terrain that you ride, and the technique that you use to ride it. So snowboarding historically is divided into three disciplines. You've got freestyle, free ride, and alpine riding. In snow skating, there's kind of no equivalent to alpine boarding. There's just park snow skating and powder snow skating, and for the most part, people do something in between. So let's go through history of snow skating, kind of figure out how we arrived at that. So the first snow skates that were ever on the market were actually just these little plastic bits that you would use to replace the wheels with. In the 80s and 90s, it was like a big shovel that actually covered both wheels, and they'd rubber band on each side so you could convert your normal skateboard. This is actually like a purpose-built fuse snow skate. This is from like the mid-2000s. Thank you, Dave Holland. But this is like kind of a novelty thing. You can use it on sidewalks where there's good packed snow, maybe even ice, because you've got these little steel edges. But certainly nothing you would take on the resort. Nothing that can really hold an edge or enable any kind of longboard style riding for sure. After those fused snow skates, you had these, which were like the first bi-level snow skates. So this is my DIY bi-level snow skate. And this is like a lot of what you would see back in the late 80s, early 90s. You could take a ski, cut the tail end off, and then mount it to a skate deck with a 4x4. Here I've literally just drilled through the bottom of the ski up into the top deck. This is actually a surprisingly decent snow skate. You can lean onto this nose and kind of pivot into a turn. I have a spot where you can attach a leash, so I could even take this on the mountain if I really wanted to. But this is where people first started to kind of see the potential of a bi-level snow skate. And then after this, you had the first generation of bi-level snow skates that were like the Burton Junkyard, for example. So Burton Junkyard was sold without a leash. It didn't even have somewhere to plug in a leash. They were made to be ridden in the backyard, so you could use them for rail parks, jibbing around. After the Burton Junkyard and those kinds of snow skates kind of popularized snow skating, then you had this style come around. This is like the powder shovel or spoon shape, which was really popularized by companies like Florida Powder Skates, whose shapes are now owned by Opala. This is the LibTech 50-inch POW skid. But the idea here is you get all the float that you're missing because you don't have the length of a snowboard or the surface area of a snowboard. But with this skinny tail, you still have maneuverability in the trees, and you could go hit park if you wanted to. For the most part, this is what everybody's been riding since 2008, 2010. These became popular and became the industry standard. So when I first moved to Colorado, I pretty much immediately got into snow skating, and then the following summer I got into downhill longboarding. And then I was left with like this yearning to make it happen on snow. And what I found was there's these local guys who ride really long subdecks on their snow skates. They're actually Icelandic skis, and they do this for the purpose of big park. So if you're trying to land like a 40-foot jump, you need a lot more effective edge than what this thing has, where this nose is pretty much lifted entirely out of the snow. So it's only contacting the snow from here to here. And that's just not enough to stop you rotating if you're coming down on the landing of a jump wrong. So what these guys did was they took Icelandic skis and made their own like DIY snow skates. They work pretty decent, but because the skis they're using are flat and rockered, they basically don't have much effective edge until you're skidding. And then that's when it comes into play. So definitely not something you could use for longboard style riding. And some of these guys have even gone on to make their own snow skate companies. And so what they do for this is they have a custom ski manufacturer who makes them skis that they have very small effective edge, so like 130 or less centimeters, and then a lot of early rise on the tip and tail. So you've got the tip and tail there when you get into powder, but when you're on the groomer, all of this is not even touching the snow. and it's kind of like you're just riding a normal size 130 centimeter snow skate. And these kinds of like custom ski snow skates are great for a snow skater who doesn't want this shovel shape, but still wants to have all that extra surface area so you can float and powder. But you're still gonna have that small effective edge, so it's gonna feel really nimble on the groomer and feel just like a normal snow skate. So I didn't like where things were going with the custom ski style snow skates, and I actually pivoted and I ended up working with this Australian company, Omni snow skates. And so Omni snow skates are really unique, totally different approach here with the sub deck. What they've done here is basically taken their snowboard shape, which is a 158 centimeter snowboard, and shrunk it down to snow skate specs. So it's really good. It has a 151 centimeter effective edge, but the problem is it's as thick as a snowboard. So it's just not thick enough to support your weight for how skinny it is. It would need to be as wide as a snowboard to give you the kind of riding characteristics that you need to do longboard style snow skating. So for that reason, I sort of consider this to be, it's like a bit of a novelty. It's a really nice snow skate, but it's just not quite a snow longboard. But I still love this thing, and I love Omni. So after kind of getting nowhere with the custom ski snow skates, and then getting nowhere with the Omni snow skates, I ended up putting together a snow skate with this thing. This is the LaCroix Contest Squall. It's a 15 meter radius and 180 centimeter squall. Squall is inline skiing. So it's made to be ridden 1 foot in front of the other, kind of like a water ski. So very different than the custom ski or the mini snowboard snow skates. This was designed to support all of your weight pressing into it with the dimensions that it has. I was always afraid to set it up because it does look like dangerously thick and stiff and like it might be scary to ride, but after a few days and some practice, I was really starting to get used to it and see the potential. So I was actually riding this around at Breckenridge when I ran into Ryan Napton, and he mentioned that Donic used to make some squalls for a guy, Christopher Chabot, from Ace Squall. And he said, maybe they could make you something pretty nice for your snow skate. So I went back and forth a bunch with Donic, and we ended up designing this snow skate based off of the Squall Contest. And so this is like the Donic version of the Squall Contest. It's got a little bit different shape geometry and different core thickness and really different layup, but this is kind of the first of its kind. You can't get these kinds of squalls anymore. Nowadays, people who ride squalls, they're gonna use something a little bit wider. So here is like my Ace Squall. I'm also a squaller and I ride for Ace Squall. And if you're interested in getting your hands on one of these or doing a demo, I can give you information about that. But these squalls that people like to ride nowadays, they're just a little bit too wide for you to get enough leverage from a skateboard deck. So they're just not ideal for snow skating. So there's just not a squall that's available that you can buy that's ready to go on a snow skate. And so for that reason, I'm now partnered with Donek Snowboards. And if you want to get your own snow skate built, I can guide you through basically how to choose the specifications, what kind of riding you want to do. But this to me is really the third generation of snow skates, and this is what enables snow skate longboarding, along with other things, you know. So for example, one thing that separates longboarding from regular skateboarding is the use of gloves. So we can put a puck on our glove and use this to do what we call glove down slides, where you're sliding with a third point of contact on the snow. And you kind of do the same thing on a snow skate. And this is why I use Vicroy gloves. They have this really nice, slick rubber palm. I've been riding for these guys for a few years now. I think they make the best sliding glove on the market. Yeah, just to wrap it all up here, basically I see snow longboarding as a discipline, just like any other discipline in snow sports, like free riding or freestyle or big mountain or whatever. Snow longboarding is a discipline. It's dictated by the terrain that you ride, by the equipment that you use to ride it, and the techniques you use on that equipment. So I hope you enjoyed this little history of snow skating ramble yap session. If you like this kind of content, let me know. I appreciate feedback. We're using the 4K iPhone camera, and I got new lighting, so hopefully better production quality this time around. I'd like to thank Donek Snowboards especially for making this possible. This is going to be the first in a little series of videos about the Donek Snowskate. We'll talk about going about ordering your own if you're interested in designing your own snowskate, or if you'd like me to help design something for your riding style, I could certainly help you with that. As future videos are going to be talking about dynamic wax. We're going to be talking about all the specifics of different truck designs, for example. If you'd like to support me, as always, I've got the little buy me a coffee link in the bio where you can send me a little tip. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.